to top Eric in the history, but hopefully, give you a glimpse of the future of the AJ. A lot of what we've tried to do is, and with working, of course, through the owner's vision, which Matt will be up here after me, Matt sitting at the table back there, to kind of talk about on behalf of the owner, their vision for the project, but is to be respectful of the building and its history, to bring back that sort of boutique hotel life, but to do it in a modern way and something that is appealing to not just us, but our future generations. So we're excited. I'm Nathan Honeycutt, like Eric said, I'm a principal with McCarty, Holsapple McCarty, and we're the architects on the job. So let me see if I can make the computer work here, Eric. There we go. And I tend to walk around a lot, so hopefully you can hear me, but if you can't, you want me to be at the mic?
Yeah, we're online, so people hear better. Good mic.
All right, I got to stand behind the podium. Sorry. Just feel disconnected from people. So, obviously Eric went through a lot of the historic photos, but part of our design process was, of course, understanding the building of its bones, how it was intended to be used, and then how it evolved. A large part, one of the reasons it was originally called the Tennessee Terraces was because it had two large terraces here on the second story that were right off of the lobby space that overlooked Gay Street and the river. So those are huge design features and drivers. The hotel was unique. At the time it was done more, but it's unique by today's standards. That the actual sort of public lobby, gathering space, and amenities were all on the second level, right? So you came into the main entrance and the drop-off, but then you went up a monumental staircase to the second level, which really was the grand level of the hotel. The street level, was retail shops and that kind of thing, but it was the second level, which was really the heart and soul of the hotel. Like Eric showed you, of course, some of the historic photos. This is, and I wanted to revisit a couple of these because we're going to show you updated renderings of what the project's going to look like in a second, right? But that's that historic ballroom, which, again, if everything works out, we'd love to someday restore. And when it was turned into an office space by the county, they actually built a second floor in there, and they literally turned it into 2 levels of office space. So it's funny, when you walk on the one level, you can see these arched windows, but you're kind of walking the arches, the top of the arches are kind of right here. So there's just unique things like that. And of course, this was that's the original check-in area, which some of you might have remembered if you were there on Friday. That was the room the band was in. That was the original kind of check-in lobby desk. So we're just briefly on the architectural plans, and we're not going to go into these in great detail because obviously these, everything's sort of fluid and continuing to evolve. But this is the main level when you come in off the street, and I think the main driver today, because the second floor of the hotel was really where the heart and soul was and stuff. The intent is for that to really be, a venue, a music venue, an event space. That needs to be where the people gather. So the main core of the thought is let the hotel lobby be a little more subtle, let it be on the ground floor, let it not be the feature and the gathering place, and save that second story, that second level to be something special that's really more open to the public and not just hotel guests, right? So the hotel lobby is going to be down on the ground floor. In this plan, we're showing it off to the left. So this is the main entrance. Gay Street is right here, right? So when you come in this plan, the thought was to restore the monumental stair to bring you upstairs. That's still being debated, but really off to the left would be a hotel lobby, and then what's now in that sort of green atrium space would become an atrium bar off the hotel lobby, right? You'd have hopefully a coffee shop or some other tenant that would share the ground floor, and then a lot of the rest of the ground floor would be utility space, back house offices, all the stuff you need for a modern hotel that most people don't see, right? So the kitchen, that kind of thing. So in this vision, the hope was to bring back the monumental staircase that would bring you up to the venue on the second floor. And you're sort of seeing off to the left there is kind of the gateway into what would be the hotel lobby, right? So again, the traditional lobby being on the second floor, but we wanted to make sure that that was open to everybody in a true event space. So the hotel lobby is sort of more reserved in this vision down on the ground level. So we've talked about before, and I mentioned on Friday night, working around historic structures is always interesting. The column spacing on this building is very tight. By modern standards, we can do much longer spans now and that kind of thing. But you can see there's sort of a field of columns on this ground floor that we're respecting and trying to work around to make the modern spaces work. But it adds character to the space. But then this would be the atrium bar that would be off of the lobby space. And again, that way this would really help serve with the hotel guests and make a nice feature out of something that was added in the 80s. And again, for those of you that were able to do the Friday event, this is what the first space you came into, right? So the second floor is, like I said, the heart and soul of the hotel. It really is the event space. It's going to be the music venue. It's going to be the exciting place for the public to gather. The middle here is the place we were in on Friday. And again, this was the historic lobby. So all of this, in a traditional hotel, the lobby was the gathering place. So all of that really was the lobby. And then back in that back corner where you see the green bar, that's the ballroom. So remember the ballroom shot I said that got split into 2 levels? So that's back in there. And then there's more event space on the left, and then some smaller rooms on the right that would all be part of it. And then, the back side is all service.
Will you all restore the terraces to open air?
So that's on the wish list.
Okay.
That's on the wish list. So as everything in life, if money allows, that is certainly. And when you look on our exterior rendering, that's what we're showing. But yeah, those exterior terraces are here and here. They were bricked in, again in I guess it was the early 80s when it was turned into office space, and that's how it is today. Restoring those, obviously, once you tear that off, putting back in the waterproof membrane and making everything watertight. It's not an economical move, but it's something that everyone would love to do if funds allow. So again, this is that second floor space, making it a sort of a moodier space, a place where again can sort of celebrating the history and the music of the building and making it a music venue or an event venue for the future. That right now, and what we're doing is we're reopening up because those 2 spaces. When I go back to the plan, is it just going forward? How do I make it go backwards there?
Are you using the arrows?
Arrows. Oh yeah, well that would be. I kept trying to use the mouse. It was like, all right. So there's really 2 levels to this. What was the lobby space, and right now there's a wall built between them. So they're separated, and we would tear that wall out to potentially reopen those 2 spaces. So that's what you're seeing here is. Right now, there's the wall that separates them, but we would bring it back. And again, allowing music to happen again, allowing people to gather there again, celebrating what used to be at the hotel, and then creating a place for future artists to perform and be part of Knoxville's history. The ballroom, returning it to its former glory, but doing it in a modern way. That again, I can see. Lots of people wanting to get married here, celebrate anniversaries, family gatherings, that kind of thing. Like we said, this is a fairly extensive, to bring this room back is actually one of the harder challenges because of the infrastructure and the damage that's been done to it. But a lot of the original historic trim work and stuff is still there, it just has to be uncovered and saved. One of the probably tougher challenges was actually the actual hotel rooms. Historic hotel rooms were very, very small. So, almost the size of a broom closet, to put it politely. So, to create a modern hotel room, we basically had to take 2 historic hotel rooms and make 1 out of it. Does that make sense? And getting things like, HVAC ductwork in there and, you know, all the cables you need for modern television and Wi-Fi and, you know, all of that great stuff. Of course, they didn't accommodate when the building was built, but, you know, we found ways to work, you know, working with the building owner and the different trades to be able to work those into the building in a discreet way, so that it doesn't impede the historic value. When most of the levels don't have a lot of the original walls, again, when it was converted into office space, you know, a lot of the walls some were original, but a lot of it was chopped up into different office space. So there wasn't a lot of historic character to save on those levels, but, you know, what we did was try to bring back something that was respectful of what was there, right? But you can see, you know, there's basically what we've done is large, and in this version, it's sort of a suites hotel. So a lot of these have small, like, couches and gathering areas in them. So you can see, like, this is a suite here on the one end of the building that actually has a living room and then the bedroom off of it, right? Because, you know, I think most of you are familiar with the Oliver Hotel on Market Square, and so B&A is the same owner, and so they saw this as a way to extend their brand, but do it in a bigger scale, and then offer a different product to the market. You know, something that might have like an extended stay component. So these are the corridors, you know, which when you come off the elevator, this is potentially what you would see coming down to your hotel room. And then, you know, the hotel rooms themselves. And keeping them nice and simple, I think that, you know, they're going for an Americana kind of theme. But, you know, each of the floors would sort of nod to potentially who had stayed there. So, like, there's Amelia Earhart, you know, Hank Williams, that kind of thing. Then the rooftop, the final piece of the pie. So it's interesting, in the original architecture, the top of the building, which you remember kind of steps in, was actually for the people who worked at the hotel. It was where the service providers, the housemaids, that, you know, the people that the bellhops, that this was their space, right? So it was interesting that they put it at the top of the building, and so your best views, but the windows are tiny. So you would think normally you go to nowadays, if you're going to a rooftop bar, a rooftop element, you're going to have, you know, what do you want? You want these huge, expansive views, but the building wasn't designed that way. So, you know, I think, again, the owner had a great vision of like, well, let's celebrate the fact that we're the best, that we're going to have this incredible rooftop bar, but these sort of amazing portal views out to the skyline. And so it's going to be a speakeasy in the sky, basically, right? So, you know, it's got low ceilings. It's going to have these kind of smaller windows that are going to have incredible views when you actually when you capture them. But sort of celebrate the space for what it is and lean into its history. So this is the actual you know, rooftop speakeasy that will be up there and available to the public. Now, some of you, again, were fortunate on Friday to be able to step out onto the terrace, and there will be outdoor seating and outdoor spaces that you can come out, you know, that will spill out from either side of this. And I mean, especially the one facing, I mean, both are great, but especially the one facing the mountains and the river. I mean, you're right at the end of the river. There's not a better view in our town. So, and there at the end, you can see up there at the very top, you see the terraces on either side. So even though we may not have the terraces at the bottom, you know, I think we're still going to pay homage to its original name, the Tennessee Terrace, by creating them at the top. And they'll have even better views of the mountains and of our beautiful region. So